All right, this is for the optional homework to improve your midterm score. So we're going to be going off of all these questions right here that were supposed to be done in order for us to receive extra credit. So we're going to go over that today with you. All right, so let's start off with the first one, which is contact to HTML. All right, this is this one. It's this question right here. This is the code for it, and basically I'm just gonna go over a couple of things how we're supposed to do, like how we did if we're in class. I'll do it like that. So basically this includes a lot of HTML elements such as head, body, the P, HR, strong, delete, sub, and soup. Meta also is like tag specific, the character encoding, which is document, which is UTF-8. Like the meta right here, the meta car sets right here, the UTF-8. Title obviously displays the title, which is going to be the contact page right here where it's listed. And then yeah, basically it's going to give a link or basically a mail, sends an email out to this specific association, and then yep, it's inserted horizontal rule right here. Special characters are entered. Yep, right here. Yep, and then yeah, it puts a line across this right here, using this subject right here, right? And it's that line of code. The soup will do that for you as well, because the soup is the tags are used to format text in subscripts or superscripts, respectfully. And the strong tagging indicates that includes text that should be in bold. HR just gives a horizontal rule, which is usually visually separate content on the page. So. Yep, so that's 2.9, figure 2.9. Now we're going to go to 2.11, which is the list HTML. All right, to list. All right, it's going to close that out, and you're going to go to the source code. All right, and this is the source code right here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to explain this specific line of code, which is for list.html. 2.11. So basically this is just displaying, it's just a bunch of text basically. It's displaying the best features of the internet. This is the title of the actual code, and a bunch of text right here. We could see there's a bullet points, the number of bullet points, and this is where it's like shifted around. You'll see in the code how it's actually displayed. So this example of HTML document contains a list of the best features of internet. Once again, it definitely has a header, body, the H1, UL, LI elements, and OL elements, and a nested list within the actual code. So basically, the H1 tag creates a heading that indicates the main topic page. This is this one right here. And the UL creates an unordered list which contains several like LI tags. So yeah, this is the UL, this is the LI. This is also in the midterm. That was displayed as well. We do that in the midterm. And the UL also can tag and ended using the UL tags. Similarly, the nested or list is started using the OL tag and ended using the OL tag right there as well. So that's what I mean right here. How it ends it right there. Yep, so this is that code for figure 2.11. Now we're going to do 2.13, table 2. Let me get that opened up. All right, this is table 2, and I'm also just going to get the source code opened up. So right here, you're going to be able to see the code. I just want to display it to y'all first before we do it. So in this code, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So you can see a lot of things are supposed to be appearing like this. There's supposed to be an image here for the specific thing. So this is the table example, spanning rows and columns. Yep, it just shows you how it basically is like categorized and like how it's separated from each one. That's the main concept of the actual code here. So in this line, what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna explain this basically. So line 4 to 6, the head section, that's like the HTML document, which is something that's so simple that everyone should be able to do if you're doing HTML. And then after that, you have the body section of the HTML document contains a table. And then line 10 to 11 basically just displays the head one. Line 13 to 26, so from here to here, it's just basically the table element which creates the table. The border attributes specifies the width of the border around the table. So yep, around the table right here. And then after that, 14 to 16 is a caption element which provides a caption for the table. So that's 14 to 16. So right here to here, it's just a caption. And then line 18 to 23, that's basically the section of the table which contains the table's header. And then line 20, basically what's going to show TR elements, which creates a row in the table. And then line 22 is a TH element, which creates a header cell in the table, like the row span attribute specifies. And then the line 24 is another TH. Line 25 is another TH, fourth one. So like line 28 to 33, basically it's just describing the T body of the section, which contains the table data. So like the actual data for this section. And then line 31, 32 is just basically the second row of the table data, which contains the name of the second type of camelid llamas and data, objects, and characteristics. Overall, the code is just demonstrating how to create a table with multiple rows and columns and how to manage cells to span multiple rows or columns. And that is figure 2.13. And now we're going to do figure 2.15. Okay. All right, so this is that code for this specific assignment, or for this, basically this figure. So this is basically just going to be, you see the feedback form right here, and filling all the information. You're gonna have a name, so if I put like my name, and then a couple of things here, you know. And just put an email address. Oh. Things I like to do, site design, images, yep. How did you get to the site? Just put one of these, and then you submit it. And then basically it goes to the site and it just tells you where you want to do. Yeah. So in this code, basically this is the HTML feedback page, right? And for the form allows you to users to provide feedback on websites. The form has various input types, including text, checkbox, radio, buttons, and select. This form is used of HTTPS post method to submit the data to specified URL. The form includes several input fields that users can fill in, such as name, email addresses, comments, and rating of the website. Users can also select what they liked about the website, they like about the subsite, and provide additional comments. These are two buttons at the end of the form. One are submitting the form, and another is clearing this form content. And that was for form 2 HTML. That's for figure 2.15. Now we're going to do figure 3.17. All right, so this is figure once again 3.17, the autocomplete and data list demo. So I'm just gonna start putting in my information in, so you're able to at least, you know, get the info. Oh, I'm sorry about that. All right, I'm just gonna put something in here as an example. All right, and then I'm just gonna put April. All right, so this is the information that's asking you. So in this, basically this form is an example of, so you see the code right here. It's an example that demonstrates that use of autocomplete attribute and data list elements. Basically the form includes the fields first name, last name, email address, birth, month, And then the birth month field uses the data list element to provide drop-down list of months options. Okay, the form also includes a submit button that clears buttons for submit or clear the form. So I'm going to submit it, and you can just submit to a database. And then also we can do this, put the random stuff, ggg@gmail.com. And if I just press clear, it's going to clear everything up. Perfect. So you can see it right there, and everything is working properly. And now we're going to go to figure 4.6. Alright, so we have, obviously we're going to copy in the paste, and we're just going to show you the code. For this one, basically this is for shopping list for Monday, milk, bread, white bread, this type of bread in between the actual bread section and title, carrots, yogurt, pizza with mushrooms, and then also it's to take you to a link to a site, but it's actually just going to take you to Dialto's website, book store, basically. So in this code, basically what's going to happen, it's an HTML document, a simple shopping list for Monday. The document includes titles, more style, and some CSS rules. Define the head section using style tags. This body basically section contains the heading shopping list for Monday and an unordered list of items. So you can obviously see the items I just showed right there and I already explained. And then at the end of the document, there's a paragraph contains the emphasis to go to the store, basically. So you see it right here. Perfect. And now we're going to go to section 4.9. Alright, so in this code, what we're going to do is just basically it's just showing two images, but you really don't see the images. Do you see that as well? It's just showing it is image. For some reason, that's just something how the file is. I don't have control over that. I just took a quick minute break. I'm sorry about that. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to explain this code. So in this code, basically, it's an HTML document that demonstrates the use of absolute positioning in CSS. The document includes a head section with the title and meta tag to specify the character encoding. It also includes a style section with CSS rules for absolute positioning elements. Overall, the document is a simple example of absolute positioning in the position element on a web page. So yeah, that just shows this and the text on text, the foreground images, the background images, and also obviously we all know that it's the title. And these are the links to those images that are provided in this specific line, like this image. Wait, this is the first one, second one. All right, now we're gonna go to positioning 2, which is 4.10. Alright, so obviously we're going to look at this type of code on HTML site, and we're gonna basically explain to you the text of the scene sentences is in superscript, the text at the end is in subscript, the text at the end of the sentence is shifted left. Okay, so we're just gonna take a little break, and And then at this part, what we're going to do is now look at this line of code, relative positioning. So P is obviously going to be, sorry about that. The HTML code defines the document and demonstrates the relative positioning in CSS. The first paragraph, it contains the text of a sentence followed by a span. And the second one is the same thing, but it's going to be followed by a subclass. And the third one's going to be followed by a shift left. And then after that, it's going to follow by shift right. Overall, this code documents provides a simple demonstration of relative positioning. It can be used to adjust the layout of text elements on a web page. Okay, now we're going to go to figure 11. All right, so in figure 4.11, what we're going to do now, all right, give me 1 second. All right, so in this example, the background image is the background position and the background attachment style to the place dial tool Associates Inc. logo in the bottom right corner of the actual code. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're just going to use torch page. All right, so in this line of code, as you can see right here, what we're gonna do now is just explain the code. So you saw how it actually looks, so you see it right there. Okay, and so this HTML code is basically embedded a CSS style, demonstrates of use of background images. So in this one, the body element has a background image specified using a background image property and in URL pointing to a file called logo.png. And then also it uses a background repeat, no repeat, background attachment fixed, background color light is basically light gray. And then the P is also the 18 point. This is the size of the font, dark blue, and then text indent and property of IEM. Indent the first line of the each paragraph. All right, so basically overall this code is just a logo bottom right corner of the page and keeps it in place wherever the user scrolls, and yeah, that's basically it. All right, so we're going to go to the next question, which is 415. Alright, so in 415, this is basically the code, shows basically a box, a little picture image right there it's supposed to be, and you don't really see it, but yep, we do see that. And then this is another box is just positioning for that. So basically this is the code for that part, so yep. Alright, we're gonna go to the next one, which is 417. As you can see, it looks like a little cool one. Give me a second. Let me go to the source page. I already inspected it by accident. Alright, so this is the code for that one. So basically, as you can see, there's a bunch of references right here within the little drop down menu that we're going to be created or has been created for us. So when you hover over this, it shows the different options that you can do. So if I click on home, it changes the color, as you can see. News, same thing. Article, same thing. Blog, same thing. Contact, same thing. All right, we're gonna go to 5.4 now. Okay, give me 1 second. Get that opened up. Alright, so this is the same thing that we did in class, kind of. So it shows how there's like a vertical linear gradient with the white from going to dark blue. Same thing from white going to yellow or orange, and then but it's going to a horizontal linear gradient, and then the diagonal linear gradient is going from white into purple. This is basically the code for that specific situation right here. Okay. For some reason it's not letting me open up that image for some reason. But I still can explain the actual line of code for it, so yep, that's fine. Just give me 1 second. So the HTML code is a div element. There's a div element with the background and many backgrounds within the actual thing. So it's going to be multiple background images specified using a background image. So as you see, one of them is the ocean one. And the background property is used to position the logo of the image in the bottom right of the div. And then there's a background origin and also the background repeat, content, and contact div. So you can see all the images right here, like the URL and logo and the ocean. I don't know why it's not popping up, so that's something I won't be able to fix. So I'm not going to be able to do that right now because I do have to explain all the other ones. All right, so we're going to go to 5.10 now. Okay, so 5.10 is right here. Okay. Alright, so in 5.10, what we're going to be doing is it's going to be an image border used for demonstrating border. So it's not really showing the image, but this is a stretch image border, repeating image border. Yep, so yep, so you can see a bunch of stuff here. That's CSS code that's going to be used. It's HTML code web page for 2 div elements. That image borders applied to CSS. And then, yep, that's basically it for that one. And it's basically going to be showing you a bunch of options for the HTML code to include like the border.png that is used the border image for both div elements. Finally, the web page includes a heading and these images borders and images with the alt attribute to set images to demonstrate borders. Okay, and now we're going to go to 5.11. Alright, that's just an animation that is basically showing, you can see it right here, animation right there, how it's moving. So we're going to explain that code for you now. So give me one moment for us to really look into the code first, and then I can start explaining it. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting code. We'll just refresh it real quick, and then it'll start doing its thing. Alright, so this is an example of a CSS animation where the image is moved around the screen using keyframes. And then the CS code begins by selecting an image tag and then an animation property, and then using the moving image identifier in order for us to incorporate at keyframe rules. So the animation is at least 10 seconds, the delay of 1 second before it starts. It will repeat twice in alternate directions. The image code simply displays the images of book covers and empty div elements. The div elements has no content, but it necessarily allows the animation to work properly. All right, now we're gonna go to 5.16. All right, this is something also that we did in class, but there's supposed to be images right here on the top hand side where you see that error message, but it's supposed to be images. Alrighty, alright, so we're going to basically now explain this code. So this is an HTML code for web layout that uses flexible box layout models, also known as a flexbox. Flexbox is a layout model that uses arrange elements with a container allow for dynamic responsive design. The code defines a container that is flexbox, such as a height to 600 px and 420 px respectfully, and also basically each div element is styled with a border radius, back shadow, and a width of 120 pixel. And then we have the pseudocode also, and then this code also imports font family Rosario from Google Fonts and applies it to paragraphs inside the div elements. The paragraph has a height of 250, overflow property set to hidden, so the text is not visible outside the div element. Overall, the code creates a simple dynamic layout for displaying programming tips. So basically, good is green, this is error, and this is the software engineering observation icons. Yep. All right, so now we're going to go to 8.6. Alright, so in 8.6 is basically, you can see there's a bunch of different types of charts here for the years, amount of deposit, calculating the compound interest. So there's definitely math involved into this specific code. So basically you can see the meta, style, all the tables right here, and the width, the style, script, and the bunch of variables that are created. And this is how it's basically going to be rated, and then how it's going to write those specific documents. And this is a for loop that we need to use an if-else statement, in order for us to really calculate each type of section. So this HTML contains the document displaying the amount of money obtained after 10 years of compound interest with 5% interest rate and initial principal amount of $1,000. All right, the document includes a script element. It calculates the amount of money obtained each year, displaying it in the table. And also basically the script uses an if statement to class to table to odd row for odd years, and the toFix method is used to format the amount of 2 decimal places. All right, we're gonna go to the next one, which is the 8.11 break test 2. Okay. Alright, so this is very simple. Maybe might take a couple seconds in order for us to really explain. This code is basically demonstrates the use of break statement as in for loops in JavaScript. The loop iterates from 1 to 10 using the variable count inside the loop, and if there is a statement that checks count equals to 5, it breaks the statement and executed, which causes the loop to terminate immediately. Yeah, you can definitely see that's pretty simple. Let's see if we can refresh it or... Yeah, so it's the same thing. It's going to break out of the loop and count. So let me try to show it to you. Yep, but you should be able to see that now. After the loop finishes, a message and prints the document that indicates the value of count. Loop was broken out of, and if the break statement was executed, count will be 11 at this point. If the break statement was executed, count will be 5. Okay, now we're going to go to figure 8.12. This is kind of like the same thing, but you use to skip printing 5. So basically it's the same kind of thing here, but we're just going to explain to you a little bit on how it actually works. This code statement is the demonstrate of a continue statement in a for loop. Alright, so basically the statement is skipped the remaining code in a loop, moved on to the next iteration of the loop. In this example, the loop count for 1 to 10 and the loop variable count is equal to 5. Continues statement executed, which skips the remaining loop and code, moves on to the next iteration of loops. As a result, when count is equal to 5, the document.write-ln statement is not executed and the loop moves on to the next iteration. See that right here. All right, we're gonna do the last one, which is called craps. Give me a second. And that is figure 9.7. This is the last one. as you can see, this is a pretty lengthy one, so it's gonna take some time to really explain. I'm just gonna take a little break. Alright, so the given code is an implementation of a simple craps game simulation in HTML, CSS, JavaScript. The code provides a basic user interface with the image of dice, buttons to control the game, and a message area to display the game's progress. The game is initiated when the user clicks on play button, which calls the start game method function, and the function sets up the game's initial start and calls in the first roll function, which stimulates the first roll of the dice. After the first roll, the game continues with a series of subsequent rolls, each of which is simulated by a roll again function. The outcome of each roll is determined by the rules of craps game, which are implemented in the code. The roll dice generates random values for 2 dice and returns a 0 sum. The show dice function displays the image corresponding to the roll's values. This image function sets the image source for image source for a given die image based on the given die value. If the die value is not a finite number, it sets the image to a blank image. The HTML provides basic structure of the game user interface, including the buttons, images, message areas, and also a reference to the JavaScript function that implements game logic. The CSS code provides the style from the user's interface. And this is also just directs you to a site of the rules of the game as well in this type of code. But yep. So basically, it's just the hyperlink for us to go to the code. The game instructions. Point die 1, die 2 is supposed to display images, but it's not. So if I roll, and then I won, click here to play. I'm gonna roll. I won again. Oh, I lost. Oh, let's go play again. You win. Yep, and that's basically it. This is for the midterm grade. This is a 30-minute video that we took in order for us to explain all these specific figures. So 2.9, 2.11, 2.13, 2.15, 3.17, 4.6, 4.9, 4.10, 4.11, 4.15, 4.17, 5.4, 5.18, 5.10, 5.11, 5.16, 8.6, 8.11, 8.12, and finally 9.7. These are all covered in this video. If there's any issues or concerns, you can always give me a email. We should be all set here. Thank you. Bye.